Ask me about Loum.
You mean the latest masterpiece of fantasy storytelling from Lucasfilm's Brian Moriarty? Why, it's an extraordinary adventure with an interface of magic, stunning high-resolution 3D landscapes, sophisticated score and musical effects, not to mention the detailed animation and special effects, elegant point-and-click control of characters, objects, and magic spells. Beat the rush! Go out and buy Loum today! Hi there.
Hello and welcome to ProtoBalls Talk Podcast.
Yes, this is my recycled balls.
I'm ProtoMet, and today we are going to be talking about Mobile Suit Gundam The Origin 5 Clash at Loum.
Yeah.
Hence why we did that whole Monkey Island bit right there at the beginning.
Yes.
Fair warning for this,
we don't know jack shit, because this movie is just like number 4, in which it is not memorable at all.
It has memorable moments, but I can't remember the exact sequence of events. I was actually going to warn them that I'm actually going to be eating in the middle of this.
That's gross.
Well, to be fair, you showed up while I was making dinner, so now everyone has to suffer for it.
That's gross.
So for anybody wondering, I'm actually having some rice-a-roni. This is not sponsored, I just was making it when he showed up.
This fucking fish. Hold on. The Origin 5 Clash at Loum. Let me get the IMDb page up. 2017 came out 3 years ago. That's incredible. Absolutely incredible. It's
got all the returning voice actors in the Japanese version.
Yeah.
From most of which were in the original Gundam, just like the other Origin movies, with some exceptions, such as
So before we start off, just want to bring up anybody who has watched Recess. Unfortunate, really, although I'm sure you've probably already heard about it at this point, but the voice actor who played Mikey passed away today at age 35. So
it's completely irrelevant to this story, but okay.
Just a bit of a tragedy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Recess was a good show.
It was a good show.
Especially that movie.
But it didn't have giant robots. So therefore it doesn't qualify.
You know what?
It doesn't matter.
You know what? NXT TakeOver's on and you could be watching that, but instead here we are.
Well, to be fair, I haven't been keeping caught up with NXT, so I watched it once. But yes, let's get to this movie before we get
caught up in another tangent.
Yeah.
There's no fucking synopsis. What the fuck? I don't know.
The movie, of course, starts with a recap of the first 4 movies, which makes sense since this movie actually came out a little while after the 4th movie did, as opposed to the length of time between the first 3 movies.
Okay, so so what happens throughout the movie is lots of war crimes happen here, folks.
Yeah, this is the first of the Origin movies to actually take place during the One-Year War. The previous movie ended with the start of the One-Year War, but here we're
in full bloom of this fucking thing. So where do we start off?
I think I want to start off with the Amuro plotline.
Okay, we'll start with the Amuro plotline. So Amuro is at home. He's getting bullied because fucking why not?
And some of those bullies decide they want to go with Amuro to check out this.
Well, no, they don't want to go with Amuro. They
force Amuro to come along.
They're like, hey, there's the new development site that's being worked on. Nobody's allowed to enter it. Let's go check it out. And Amuro was like, guys, I don't think that's a real good idea. What are you, a pussy? You're coming with.
They practically drag him along.
Yeah.
And stuff happens. They get caught right on the outskirts by Federation soldiers who beat the crap out of most of them. But when they find out who Amuro is, they just let him go.
They're like, come with us. You'll be fine. fine. Don't worry about it.
It's obvious that they roughed him up a bit, but as soon as they found out who he was, they were like, "Oh shit, you can go home."
Yeah, just leave. And he cuts to the next day in class, and all of them have the shit beaten out of them except Amuro.
And I think it's the principal. I think.
Yep.
At least one of the teachers who, and this is probably just a pure coincidence, but her English voice actor sounds a lot like she's channeling Miss Lee from Daria, and she's basically talking about how a bunch of hooligans went to the development site.
Gee, I wonder who.
Because they're in bandages. And she just kind of goes off on a spiel about, oh, we're not supposed to do that. It's against the rules, and blah, 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 blah.
Amuro's not paying attention, as always.
Because now he's wondering, geez, how much influence does my dad have that me getting into trouble gets mitigated by that fact?
And the answer is, actually, his dad's probably the most important man in the war right now, other than General Rebel.
Not quite yet.
Well, he's up there. He's up there in influence.
He's getting there.
Yeah.
But
So then, that's most of Amuro's whole plot. That's really
for this movie, yeah.
And then let's see here. Oh, yeah, that's right. The whole Xeon war crime stuff happens
Yeah.
during the movie.
Yeah. So yeah. How do we broach this topic?
They commit genocide. They commit
genocide of an entire colony in order to drop it onto what they hope was Jaburo.
No, the Operation British in full effect.
And I think we talked briefly about Operation British when we were talking about the original movies, since it was relevant then.
That's how it started. That's how the original movie started out.
Practically, yeah.
Just, there's a war. All of Sydney getting blown up. But yeah, so what happens is
for reasons that are obvious to us, we actually get some development from some of these citizens in this colony. I'm trying to remember what the colony was.
Hate. Yeah, Hate.
Actually, I think Hate was the name of the side, but it was like one of the central colonies of Hate. And we get
Island-ifish. That's what it was.
There we go. Island-ifish. And we actually get some character development with a couple of the characters from this colony, as the Xeon soldiers are basically painting the giant window panels of the colony to obscure what they're doing, which is using G3 gas to kill everybody aboard the colony. Was it G2 gas? It's one of the G gases.
It was a neurotoxin. It
Definitely.
Doesn't fucking matter what it was.
I believe it was the same neurotoxin used on Colony 7 in Zeta Gundam.
I have no context for that.
Yeah, because that was...
That's later on.
No, it's actually during the first portion. It's the dead colony they go to. Oh,
that's right.
The one that they glossed over in the movie.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, we get some development with these characters, but of course, we, the audience, having already seen the devastation caused by Operation British, know exactly how this is going to end, so...
We actually get the specifics of what exactly happens. So it drops on Sydney, drops in the middle of the ocean, drops inside of Canada, and I don't remember where else it drops.
I think those were the three major locations.
Those are the three major locations.
Because the Xeon were attempting to drop the colony on Jaburo,
which is in South America.
But it broke up in the atmosphere and ended up crashing into, of course, Sydney, the most famous of the impact sites, Canada, and then the Pacific Ocean.
Which caused a
lot more damage than what was already happening to the Earth. Now, prior to this...
Now, let's be honest here, and this is sort of going to be sort of funny, but when you take Zeta Gundam's message, which was save the planet, and here Zeon is attempting to destroy, literally, the lungs of the planet in South America, Amazon rainforest.
They think it'll bring a quick end to the war. Now, before the actual colony drop, we do get a scene where Ramba Ral is actually called in by...
Ramba Ral just says, fuck this.
He tells Dozel, yeah, no, I am not doing this. You cannot make me do this. I'm out. And
he gets demoted.
He gets quite heavily demoted for abandoning his post during a time of war. And disobeying a direct order, I think it was.
Yeah.
And he's fine with that because he doesn't want to be a murderer. I mean, outside of, everything
else
that's already associated with a war.
Yeah. He doesn't want murder in cold blood. Yeah,
he thinks attacking citizens to attack soldiers is not a good thing. And
yeah.
It's one of the reasons why Ramba Ral is cool.
It's because he's the only moralistic character, except that time that he fucking blows up in a blaze of glory. Best thing of that movie. Still is. Oh my god, that was so good.
No contact.
Nope. No contact.
I'm trying to remember. There's also one scene where we get introduced to the Zaku 2s. And,
they managed to capture Granada and Von Braun. That's sort of glossed over as well.
Well, that was kind of glossed over at the end of the previous movie anyway, so... But we get to finally see the Zaku 2s, which are probably the most famous of the Zeon mobile suits. And we specifically get a look at the Black Tri-Star's black and purple mobile suits.
So yeah, those colony drops. They dropped in southeastern Australia, southwestern Canada, and most of East Asia because it hit the Pacific Ocean, resulting in half the world's population dying.
Oh yeah!
From the ensuing fallout from that.
That's just half the Earth's population.
Yeah.
It is stated in the Gundam series and movies that by the end of the One Year War, over half of the human population has died as a result of the war.
Yeah.
So, whew.
Yeah.
But yeah, we get Char's mobile suit. We get a little animosity between.
Yeah, that's true. The Black Tri-Stars get to check out their
Zaku 2s.
Their Zaku 2s, and they're like, oh yeah, look at this kicking shit. And then they see
Char just doing maneuvers just outside of the.
They see Char's mobile suit, and he's like, no fair, how come you get your custom one? Glossing over the fact that they themselves got custom ones too.
Well, I think it was more the fact that he was so emblazoned in red, like so prominent, and just showing off in their eyes.
Get the who fucking cares? You got black Zaku 2s. Kiss my ass.
Ironically, the Black Tri-Star's colors, which are later used for the DOMs, become the default color for the DOMs.
Yeah.
Wonder if that was in tribute to the Black Tri-Stars, since they were the first ones to use those in the war.
Probably. God, that gun cannon. I will never get over what a great design that is.
Yeah.
So then...
and of course we see some bit of animosity between the Black Tri-Stars and Char. Mostly the Black Tri-Stars towards Char. It's not really reciprocated.
Yeah, it's more of a one-sided rivalry because Char couldn't give less of a fuck.
And they do try to call Char out on the fact that he wasn't piloting his mobile suit using his normal suit, which is in regulations.
And Char is like, if I'm gonna die...
If my mobile suit is going to take serious damage out in space, I'll probably wind up dead anyway, so it won't matter what I'm wearing.
Which is a good point.
It is a very good point, and something which he later reflects on by the end of the original series.
Yeah.
And sees the advantages of from then onwards.
Mm-hmm. Especially his days as That's his best version.
Quattro Vagina.
Or Bud.
For context, in Zeta Gundam, Char is using the alias Quattro Vagina, which is the pronunciation used in the English dub. But another official romanization of the name is Quattro Vagina, which is actually printed on a recently released jacket representing the character.
I don't want to talk about this anymore. Let's move on. So anyway, as the war is rolling on, there's a bunch of other stuff happens, but what's most important is that at Side 5, at the Side 5 Loum colony, there's a bunch of stuff going on.
At one point, Lieutenant Tachi, who had helped Char and Sayla escape at the end of the first movie, returns and has a bit of a talk with Sayla and hints that Casval Daikun might not be dead, and mentions Char Aznavour and Sayla pretty quickly puts together the pieces, but it's not really all that prescient because she's working as a nurse, and she actually goes back to
Texas,
the Texas colony,
to
look on Tiabolo, her adoptive father,
because he's dying, basically.
He's not in the best of health. And then the Battle of Loum starts, looming, and some anti-Zeon...
Nice pun.
It worked. But some
punks.
Anti-Zeon punks just decide to start all sorts of riot in the colony, trying to drive out Zeon supporters, which involves setting fire to a town.
Yeah, okay, so what's going on is a bunch of people know that this battle's about to happen, so they decide we should probably leave as soon as we can. Mm-hmm. And they start to depart, including the Osnables. Mm-hmm. That stick a pin in that.
But a bunch
the Osnables mentioned that they haven't seen or talked to their son in
basically since he stopped sending them letters prior to the war in the 4 years.
In the
5 years. It was 5 years.
Yep, 5 years. We've also established Char's age at this point.
At 22, was it?
21.
Okay.
Because he was born in 59.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we during the movie we were actually trying to guess how old Char was.
I was off by a year.
Yeah, we were off by a year, but we were pretty damn close with the guess, though.
Because you look at his transformation from the origin to the original series to Zeta, and then to Char's counterattack. Oh, we'll get to that.
Oh, definitely. Eventually.
Eventually, we'll get down there. But he ages quite a bit,
and it's very noticeable, and that's a positive. But
so anyway. Yeah, some punks decide to burn the town down.
And so
a bunch of citizens.
A bunch of Zeon supporting citizens just have to retreat to Tibolo's estate to just try to avoid being killed by these punks. Sayla takes command.
This shows Sayla's a badass.
Like, she immediately takes control of the situation, tells the refugees what to do, arms just about anybody who can, and even fires the first shot, shooting a guy in the head.
Yeah, he headshot.
He gets headshotted.
Yeah, she headshots him pretty fucking quickly. Yeah,
it's freaking amazing.
Yeah.
What you looking at?
Nothing important. Don't ask. No context. Yeah. So, yeah, that's going on. And so the hangar blows up. Suddenly.
Yeah. The
during all this chaos, Diablo passes away. Unfortunately,
I should mention that with the hangar blowing up, that was a direct result of Shar Aznable, and the shuttle that was the major victim had the Aznables aboard it.
The irony.
How?
The irony. It's not lost on me, for sure.
I don't think that's the definition of irony, though. That's more poetic. The poetic irony of it.
So it's still irony.
Yeah, but it's a specific type of irony.
It's dramatic irony.
Dramatic irony. That's what I was going for. Thank you. So yeah, he kills the Aznables just like he basically killed their son.
Or as one late great Calculon would say, dramatic irony.
Hey, Calculon's back.
Oh no. He's back and nobody loves him. Poor Calculon.
Let's see, what else happens in this movie?
I'm sorry, Calculon. I didn't tell you. He had another personality. I didn't tell you about. No!
Anyway, getting back to the topic.
Fucking, oh my god, we gotta do the Futurama movies at some point.
Maybe. I haven't actually seen them, but...
Jesus Christ, you've got to.
I digress. Getting back to the movie, there's also... okay. Okay, we'll just continue going off.
Okay, yeah, go back to it.
Before the actual start of the war, we get a scene where Lieutenant Tachi actually goes and visits the Club Luna.
Yeah.
And tries to warn Haman, Crowley, and Ramba Ral to get out because Cassilia's forces are coming to arrest them, and they actually show up while Tachi's still there, so he has to just
go on.
He has to just act natural and pretend like he's not who they probably would find out he was. Yeah, and Crowley has a badass moment by telling these guys off and telling them that Dozel or Ramba Ral was already punished by his superior Dozel, and if Cassilia wants to get her hands on Ramba Ral, she better damn well do it herself instead of sending some lackeys.
Yes, get a warrant or fuck off.
Now they have a warrant, but she's like, I don't fucking care about your warrant. If she wants him, she better come here herself and get him.
Yeah. Cassilia's kind of, sort of cupped in this movie. That's not the correct word. She has the ball cut out from under her. For most
Something happened on my computer.
Yeah, she gets nut cutted for most of the movie. She is undermined at every step of the way, just about.
And then we get a nice
whether it be Garma, or not Garma, whether it be Giran or Dozel or fucking Crowley.
And then we get a nice musical number from Crowley just singing for several minutes.
I don't know why, but whatever.
It was there. I guess it was to fill out the time.
Okay. So the hangar blowing up, that hangar blowing up is actually a distraction.
Yeah, because as it turns out, the Zeons are sending the entirety of their fleet to attack part of the Federation fleet that's in the territory, while they're separated from another portion of the fleet. And so they just wreck the shit of this fleet. The TNM fleet, I believe.
Yeah, they fucking... they decimate the fleet, but the reason they manage to dominate the fleet is because they have another group. They're not facing the main fleet, so they're facing a third of the actual fleet. So Zeon's fleet matches up with a third of the Federation's fleet, which is fairly bad odds, But Zeon...
It's working to their advantage somehow.
Zeon has the advantage for one simple reason. They've got the...
Those haven't yet been introduced in the battle yet, though.
Yeah, they haven't been introduced. So, General Revel says that one of the fleets needs to go check out what's going on. So, yeah.
Yeah, honestly, this movie is fairly forgettable for the most part. We get a shot of everybody in the Texas colony seeing the flashes of the battles that attack and the attack on the hangar. The dock. It's a dock, not the hangar.
Yeah.
And that basically brings the fight between everybody to an end. During which Tibola dies and Sayla catches a glimpse of the red mobile suit.
The fucking post-fight's hilarious. Because all the bandits, they're like, oh no, we can't get out of here. And then all the
refugees and people who are working at the estate just come out with like pots and pans and just start beating the shit out of them.
They're like, you goddamn motherfucker! How could you? We're people too.
And Sayla catches a glimpse of the red mobile suit that destroyed the dock.
And it's like a repeat of the end of the second movie. Where she chases after Char, but Char is too quick.
Yeah.
So then we're about to enter the battle.
Yeah.
And before the battle begins, we get a nice little speech from the Black Tri-Stars, who were basically like, all right,
there's this guy out there in a red mobile suit called Char. We hate him. Let's all prove that we're better than him. Let's kick his ass. Yeah. Metaphorically speaking, he's still technically on our side. And the soldiers are like, yeah, woo, go us, yeah.
So soon comes the battle.
I am really sure that we skipped over a lot more of the other stuff that happened in this movie.
Oh no, I don't think we missed much. Other than Garma freaking out because they lost one battleship and...
Oh yeah, and it's in the...
Dave's like, shut the fuck up. Pow!
Like, the timing of it is great because it's got like the guy who's relaying the battle explaining how the Musais are at an advantage because of their shape, being able to more efficiently deflect shots. And then midway through his explanation, one of the Musais gets destroyed. And Garma is like, you said they had a better chance of being deflected. Those were our soldiers. And Daglin's like, Garma!
Shut the fuck up.
This is a war. Decorum! Or some shit. I can't remember what he all says, but he's
like, you're embarrassing yourself. Sit down and shut. And Garma's like, okay, no problem. No problem there. No problem, Father. Whatever you say.
Oh, I'm sure that we're forgetting a lot of what happened in this movie, but I just can't remember.
There is not much to it.
We have gotten through...
There was a mission debriefing about the plan from everybody, but other than that, fucking... I mean, wasn't much.
Yeah, I think we get some glimpses of some other characters who show up in...
See, here's the problem with later. Here's the problem with these Origin. I'm sure 6 will be good, because I doubt it's going to be a fucking movie recapping all the shit that happens.
No.
Well, we did miss the part where Amuro's bullies was like, it's not like your dad works for the government or anything. And Amuro's like, wait a minute.
Does he?
Does he? Hold on. Other than that, no, there's not much we missed. We got this review done in a scant 30 minutes, so...
Yeah, this was, like we've said at the beginning, a rather forgettable movie.
God,
like, I legitimately feel like we've forgotten to talk about some scenes. and I can't think of what they would be.
If only I could get the synopsis from IMDb, but no. But no, all you got is a plot summary.
Did you try the Gundam Wiki? Also, stop playing with that. I need that for work.
No, absolutely not. Just kidding. But I don't know if I gave a ranking for 4. I'd probably give that one a 7 out of 10, maybe. This one, I'd give probably a 5. I don't know.
Yeah, I kind of want to agree with the 5 ranking. I mean, it's certainly not a bad movie, and it's definitely part of a series of great movies.
Here's the problem. It is like a recap episode of a regular show.
But it's recapping stuff that we hadn't seen yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. This movie is forgettable. There's not much to say about it. At least 6. I have an inkling of what's gonna happen, and I'm not gonna spoil anything because that would be dirty. But during this review, I was looking over at the shelf, all that, and at some point we should definitely review Nosferatu. I think that's a quality one at some point, maybe in a Halloween.
No, we could do it even before Halloween.
Probably. I don't know.
I mean, that would just be like a one-shot. It's Nosferatu. It's a classic.
Nosferatu is probably the only movie from the 1920s other than Cabinet of Dr. Caligari that I would give a 10 out of 10. It's a very good movie. Now we could... That one. The bottom shelf.
I figured that's probably what you were pointing at. Well, I'm not going to say what it is.
No.
I'm just going to have to wait a really long time to find out.
Predator's a good one. So are the Naked Gun movies, but... Oh, I didn't realize you got Detective Pikachu, you fucking whore.
Hey, it's a good movie.
Yeah, speaking of, did you know Sonic has the highest,
Yeah, I've heard it's actually a pretty good movie.
Yeah, it's got the highest grossing opening of any video game adaptation. Even beating out Super Mario Brothers, even though I'm sure everybody knew that was going to be a terrible movie going into it.
But we have to at least comment on the dark side of this movie, and that is that the animation studio closed its doors prior to the release of this movie because nobody really truly appreciates CGI work, and they do it on the cheap. Like, they don't pay the animation studios nearly enough.
Which one? Which one are we talking?
For Detective Pikachu and Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, that's...
Yeah, no, Sunrise is still going strong. There's no way they're going to quit closing their doors. So
yeah, that's the shit. That sucks.
Yeah, it's kind of like the situation where this one animation studio won an Oscar for Life of Pi, and then they had shuttered their doors by the end of the year.
Well,
probably even by the end of the half year. Because studios think that CGI animation is so cheap and easy to do that they don't pay the animation studios nearly as much as they deserve for all the hard work they do.
I'm going to ask you to do something real quick. I'm going to need to put the Pour un Pigno de Dolari poster up for this bit here, because I just wanted to mention something. I mentioned something to him earlier that I forgot and totally glossed over when we actually did the movie review last week. But there's an interesting dynamic between the two gangs in For a Fistful of Dollars. And that's that the Rojos and the Baxters are not at all similar types of gangs, in a way.
They're very different.
Let's how should I put this?
The Baxters are lawful good or lawful evil.
Yes.
And the Rojos are chaotic evil.
So, and I'll put it in a different context that might be more understandable. The Baxters are the mafia, okay? The Rojos are Bloods and Crips. They don't care who the fuck they kill. They will kill anything and everything. While the Baxters have a code of law inside their own organization. If that makes sense. So, yeah, I thought that was great. And, God, man, I can't wait to do the next movie. Oh my god. I can't wait to get you to sit down and watch the next one.
I'm sure it's better than this one that we just got done reviewing, kind of.
Not gonna spoil anything. I think the second movie is a better movie than the first one. It's just it's just A Fistful of Dollars is more memorable.
Okay. I don't know what else to say for this one. This is a pretty short podcast episode.
Yeah, and you can just put the Mobile Suit Gundam one back up as soon as I'm done with that. just
for like all of the 1 minute you talked about it.
Just for the 1 minute I talked about it. You know, how was Raw?
It was okay.
How was SmackDown? I heard SmackDown wasn't very good.
Yeah, it did kind of drag on a bit.
I hear from what I know, SmackDown has been the worst of the two. Because I hear Raw's been very good. It's just SmackDown hasn't.
I kind of felt a bit of the reverse. I kind of felt like I care more about what's going on in SmackDown
That's
than I
because
do.
you care about.
I mean, even beyond the Fiend. I mean, it's got Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss.
Okay, fair enough. I'm gonna make you put a bunch of those posts.
No, we're just.
That was Raw. The Raw poster. That was SmackDown poster up.
No.
Just kidding.
This is not a review show for those. It's just. I think I just want to bring this episode to a close now because honestly, I can't really think of anything more to say about the movie we're actually supposed to be talking about.
I'll say this: the animation was pretty good.
Yes,
as usual.
That's always a positive with the Gundam franchise.
And I don't mind the voice. I think I've gotten used to the voice acting now. Can't think of who does the voice acting, but I kind of prefer his Zeta voice actor more. And we're talking about the English dub here, and the English dub is actually very well done.
Yeah, in the Japanese version, it's the same actor who's in all of them.
And this is a non sequitur, as seems to be the theme on this particular episode. But I found out something interesting about one of my least favorite games in a franchise that I absolutely love. That would be, of course, some Guns of the Patriot, Metal Gear Solid 4, one of the fucking absolute dirt trashiest games I don't care what anybody says. Sorry, Bob Ross, dude, guy,
Deadpool.
Bob Ross, Deadpool. I don't care what anybody says. Metal Gear Solid 4 is an absolute trash game. It doesn't matter how well it's done. It's still a trash game. I fucking...
Great movie, though.
Great movie! Fucking trash game!
I actually can't comment. I haven't played through the game. Movie.
It's Metal Gear Solid 2 times 10. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Yeah. Metal Gear Solid 2 gets unwieldy. Metal Gear Solid 2 is unwieldy. Metal Gear Solid 4 is Metal Gear Solid 2 on crack.
At some point, we should probably review those movies.
Oh my god! Dude, if we reviewed the Metal Gear Solid series, that would be amazing! I would have so much to talk about the Metal Gear Solid series. Especially 3, which is...
arguably considered one of the best games in the entire series.
Well, it's a toss-up between 2 and 3, and I prefer 3 because 3 has the better gameplay to cutscene ratio. I mean, once you get into late game of Metal Gear Solid 2, it becomes just unbearable, even though that's kind of the point. It's supposed to subvert expectations. And Metal Gear Solid 1's, it's good. It's good. I'm not going to say in 2020 that it's a world beater, but it's a good game. In 1998, I'm sure I would have rated it
a 10 out of 10, but with in today's context now, I think I gave it a 9 out of 10, I believe. But yeah, no, getting back to Metal Gear Solid 4 after that long tangent. So
Which wasn't actually that long at all.
no. So there's the final cutscene in the game, which is basically here's all the leftover stuff, and here's all the stuff that you want. Hideo Kojima was basically forced to put in. That's the final confrontation with Big Boss, who is
Spoiler.
it's not much of a spoiler. The game is like 15 years old. I don't know.
Oh, really? I thought it was less than that.
It's 2008, so it's like, I don't know fucking know how old it is.
12. It's 12.
Well, it's 12 years old. Get over it. Hey.
I think at 10 years you get kind of cross the threshold for spoilers,
Hey,
so it's okay.
Hey, do you want a spoiler? Snape kills Dumbledore.
I was gonna say the same goddamn thing!
Oh, shit! We gotta bleep that out! I'm sorry! Forgive me! Oh, so there's the scene where he confronts Big Boss. Naked Snake, Solid Snake confronts Big Boss, and Big Boss is like, it's over. It's finally over. You've won, son. You've won. And it's a very, very good, very well done scene, I'll say. I mean, it doesn't help that Big Boss and Solid Snake kill a man in the middle of that scene, just casually. It makes sense.
I'm just imagining how that played out.
Makes sense in context. They killed a wheelchair-bound guy as they were talking, because Big Boss is like, Major Zero, he's the cause of all this, and I'm gonna bring him back to zero. And he shuts off the life-preserving machine that Zero had, and he kills him. And then he just casually walks off, and they continue their conversation. But in the American dub, it's nothing special. In the Japanese dub, it's actually
Nosebleed.
It's actually very important, because the Japanese voice actor who did Solid Snake for all of the series, they had his father come in to do Big Boss.
Oh, damn.
And the two of them had been estranged for many, many years before this point. So it's in the Japanese version of Metal Gear Solid 4. It's that final scene is a lot more emotionally touching, I suppose the word is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I found that out today.
And that is relevant because it does have giant
It
robots.
does have giant robots. It does have giant robots.
But yeah, I think I'm gonna bring this episode to a close.
Yeah, as long as we make.
I got nothing more to say.
No, yeah, we.
I honestly don't care how long these episodes are.
I
I
personally.
do kind of feel like some of our recent ones have been a bit ranty towards the end, so I really want to cut it off and just focus.
Okay, I think the problem with them
Is that they're not that good of movies.
No, yeah. Okay, so there's a threshold here, and I think you might agree with me. There are good movies. There are masterpieces where you can talk until the cows come home, because there's so much good stuff to talk about.
And then you have movies that have good moments but aren't that good altogether.
Yep. And then you have mediocre movies that have that one great moment, and then everything else is just sort of. And then you've got so bad it's good movies that you could talk until the cows come home, just because of how bad it is.
Oh, just get me started on King Dinosaur, why don't you?
I was gonna say Manos, The Hands of Fate.
King Dinosaur is not so bad it's good. It's just terrible.
Oh. Okay, then there's
I could rant about that.
then there's movies that are just terrible.
King Dinosaur.
And then there's
I think the more appropriate movie I could have used was Giant Claw.
Oh my
for
god.
That one.
Nevada, L.A., Chicago.
Makes a perfect pattern.
A perfect pattern. Draws a circle.
Not a circle,
A spiral.
Perfect pattern.
A perfect pattern. But then there's movies like Eve of Destiny and Clash at Loum that are just forgettable.
They're forgettable, but they're important. At least for their series.
Yeah. I got a top. Okay, here's a topic. Here's a topic point that's relevant to the movies and whatnot. Say somebody's new to Gundam. Which series would you start them on?
I would start them with the original.
The original? I don't know. I'd probably start them with what I started with what you first showed me.
G Gundam?
G Gundam. I'd probably start them with G Gundam because it's a more interesting.
It is a more interesting series, but it's not accurately representative of what
No,
Gundam is.
it's not. I don't think I would start anybody in the Universal Century timeline right off the bat if you're introducing somebody to Gundam. Because, well, first off, it's from 1979, and the art style is not exactly aged well.
Some would argue against that, but
I'd argue Tomorrow's Joe from 1967 has aged better.
fair point.
And at least G Gundam has a great opening theme.
It's fantastic. Absolutely ridiculous and bonkers show. Completely over the top. But goddamn.
Goddamn.
But goddamn if I don't love that show.
Dude, that show was great. Oh my god. Man, if they came out with a G Gundam movie,
that would be
tits.
It might be tits or it could wind up like the Zetas.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Okay, now you just brought the mood down because you mentioned the Zeta movies, which we will get to.
Eventually.
Whenever I fucking feel like getting over my anger for this movie. Dude, no, I hate that movie. I hate that movie with a passion.
I don't blame you. That was not a good way to introduce you to Zeta. I apologize. But we're completely off topic.
Right, okay. We made it over the 45-minute threshold, so I mean, yeah, we're good to... Yeah, I'd start them on G Gundam, and then I'd probably move them... If I had to throw somebody into the Universal Century timeline, I'd probably actually start them on Zeta.
That is a pretty solid one.
It starts them right in the middle of everything, and it has a bunch of reasonable backstory to what all happened. But I think from a dramatic standpoint, Zeta's better.
Fair point.
Okay, this is my recycled balls, and now we're just
giving our recommendations on how we would introduce people to Gundam.
Yeah.
I personally would start with the original series, but then maybe go to, I don't know, maybe G Gundam
maybe Gundam Wing.
Gundam Wing is...
Speaking of, do you have any Gundam Wing?
I have all of Gundam
Okay,
Wing.
never mind then, because I have a buddy who has several Gundam Wing VHS tapes.
And I have all of it on Blu-ray.
And he has all of it on Blu-ray, because I was going to ask you like 2 weeks ago and I forgot. Okay, so that settles that then. I won't be buying them.
Yeah.
Okay, this is my recycled balls.
I'm ProtoMet, but I got nothing. See ya!